This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Breaking news this morning, a verdict in the case against a man prosecutors say was an Indianapolis drug kingpin. We're going to break down what went down in the federal courtroom late last night.
And it's a tight squeeze for some students during their ride to school. But a school district is pushing back at claims from parents that the buses are too full.
And taking the steps needed from high school to the workforce can be tough if English is not your first language. Today in Hiring Hoosiers, a program that gives a hand up to Latino students to help them eventually get employed. But first, here at 6 o'clock, it is Friday. I want to thank you for starting your day early with us here in Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Todd, we are so happy it is finally Friday. So we're hoping you deliver some good news weather-wise.
You know, it's a decent Friday. There's one little speed bump, I think, in the middle half of the day with the opportunity for just a few very light rain showers. But most of the day will be dry, including your morning commute here. You're not going to see any rainfall here this morning. 66 degrees, that's the current temperature in Indianapolis. But once you get into some of the outlying areas, we are talking about temperatures that are in the 50s. 59 right now in Peru, 61 in Bloomington. We're at 57, though, in Logansport and Anderson. You're sitting at 60 degrees. So kind of running a little cooler than normal this morning. Maybe some of you want a light jacket, but I think most of you should be okay as temperatures will start to moderate fairly quickly here this morning. And I don't think the temperatures are going to drop much more now that the clouds are moving in. So it's a mostly cloudy start. This rain will dive down to the south. You don't have to worry about that. But during the middle half of the day, as the little weak disturbance goes through, there could be some spotty showers around for your lunch hour. If you do see them at all, not everybody's going to see it. It's not a widespread event. They should be very, very light. And then as we get into the evening, just mostly cloudy skies. And once again, kind of a cooler day with the clouds and highs only in the low 80s.
Todd, thank you. We do have a traffic alert right now for drivers in Hamilton County, Fishers area. You can see right here, I-69 at 106th Street. We do have a crash cleanup in the center of your screen. That's impacting the left lanes of southbound I-69, and it looks like one left lane, or at least the shoulder there, of northbound I-69. Expect delays because traffic is picking up, as you can see by all the headlights and taillights on your screen in both directions. Now let's take a look at our traffic now map. As we point out the delays here, you can see in the southbound lanes, traffic is slow all the way back to Campus Parkways. You're heading down to 106th Street. Once you get past this area, it is smooth sailing. So of course, we'll continue to monitor this crash cleanup and keep you updated. No word on any injuries at this time. But now we do want to get to breaking news this morning. A big court verdict we just got word on overnight. The man who prosecutors say used to lead a notorious gang found guilty.
Richard Grundy convicted late last night along with 4 co-defendants in a federal drug trafficking trial. Our Ray Steele tells us Grundy could spend the rest of his life in prison.
The fight between Richard Grundy, aspiring hip-hop producer and, according to police and prosecutors, leader of the gang, the Grundy Crew, goes back a long time. It was almost 4 years ago that Marion County prosecutor Terry Curry announced more than 110 criminal charges against Grundy, members of his family, and other associates. They were accused of a series of murders, gang activity, and dealing drugs. But one by one, those cases ended with little, if any, punishment for those charged. Witnesses were often afraid to testify out of fear of retribution. For Grundy himself, it almost ended just over 2 years ago when he was shot and wounded during a funeral procession for a family member. RTV6 was told there was a $50,000 bounty on Grundy's head. But Grundy survived the shooting, and he escaped the original case with a guilty plea to just 1 count of dealing marijuana. That's when he told our Derek Thomas he was moving away from Indy and just wanted to live a normal life.
I got to deal with the police and people, you know what I'm saying? So I got 2 people to deal with. I got every police that want to, every person with a badge want to push me in jail. And then, you know, I generated enemies just based on these accusations that ain't even true. You know what I'm saying?
That did not last long. In November 2017, Grundy was one of 20 people arrested on federal drug trafficking charges. He and 4 others who did not plead guilty in the case went on trial in Indianapolis in July. That case, however, ended in a mistrial because someone leaked information about members of the jury, sparking fear that someone connected to Grundy would go after them. The second trial this month was moved to the federal courthouse in Evansville. That's where late last night, a jury found Grundy guilty on all counts in the drug case. We're still waiting to hear about a sentencing date, but when it does happen, it could be the last the public sees of Richard Grundy. Working for you, Ray Steele, RTV6.
Ray, thank you. Also breaking from the city's north side overnight, Metro Police are investigating a late-night shooting near 34th and Graceland Avenue. That's just a few blocks from Crown Hill Cemetery. Police say that a neighbor called to report a man who was shot in the backyard of a home on Graceland. When police arrived at the scene just before midnight, officers found a 25-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds. Right now, that man is listed in critical condition. There's no word this morning on a search for a suspect.
RTV6 is working for you, getting answers for parents who are worried about overcrowding on their children's school buses.
All of them are crowded. Sometimes they're running early, sometimes they're running late. Just depends on how many kids get on at the stops.
They're having a hard time keeping bus drivers, and the buses seem to be pretty jam-packed. I know they're sitting almost 3 to a seat on our bus.
RTV6 took those concerns to Franklin Township schools where this is happening. A district spokesman says the buses are full but not considered overcrowded. Under state law, 3 elementary school students are allowed to sit in 1 seat. District officials say the district does need more bus drivers, a common issue that it's working to address.
Well, changes have been made near a school on the west side of Indianapolis just days after a parent reached out to RTV6 for help. The Department of Public Works has now installed new school zone signs on Holt Road and Sam Jones Expressway near Stoutfield Elementary School in Wayne Township. The new signs come less than 1 week after we took a mother's concerns about a busy intersection to the department. Well, a local non-for-profit's goal is to get more Latino students to graduate high school and further their education right here in Indiana.
We're highlighting it this morning as part of Hiring Hoosiers. Our Aaron Lish is joining us live from outside the Indiana Latino Institute, where they are getting students classroom to career ready. This is such a vital and important project they are working on, Aaron.
It truly is. The Indiana Latino Institute, they work with these students figuring out what their needs are, do they have any barriers, and then figuring out these strengths. And all of this is for free. We actually talked with a couple of these students who say they are the first person in their family to go to college, and they really don't know where to start. So this institute really works with them, figuring out that financial aid process, as well as figuring out those different scholarship opportunities out there, as well as they want to build those strong resumes for these students. So ILI gets community partners to have interns over the summer so they get that real world experience. They also have the employment exploration program for college students where staff will go through those resumes and make sure that they are prepared to talk with future employers. Alex Santana, who used ILI, says they connected him to Eli Lilly, and he's now an intern there. He says this program has not only helped him stand out academically, but also made him become a leader.
They have been helping me not only to make sure that I have a successful resume, but to also to keep developing my leadership skills, my professional skills, to be prepared for the real world and to be able to influence other Latinos.
Conducting a survey, the Institute found 62% of Latinos sometimes, rarely, or never feel that they have the resources for higher education. So with that, the staff want to start talking to those high school students a little bit earlier so they have a leg up when they want to graduate and go off to college. So we're going to have a little bit more in the next half hour from Santana, as well as another student on their success stories through the Institute. Back to you in the studio.
All right, and speaking of students, Aaron, as the little kiddos head off to school, and the bigger kiddos, I guess, if they're in high school, you are walking out to mostly cloudy skies and temperatures that are averaging right around 65 in the city, although some of the outlying areas, you have temperatures that are currently in the 50s. So you may want a little bit of jacket, but lots of clouds around this morning. And then as the kids come home from school, we're talking about a temperature of 81 degrees. While the kids are at school in between for recess, it's not a question. There could be a few spotty showers that move through, but those showers will be out of here by the time we get to the evening hours. So anything that you have planned this evening are in great shape, including the Indiana State Fair. Should be terrific for the last weekend. Temperatures are going to be in the 70s this evening, not too muggy with mostly cloudy skies and no threat of any rain. We'll talk more about Saturday and Sunday for you in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, they were the subjects of the Send Them Back chant at a recent presidential campaign rally. Coming up, how the president may have pressured a country to block 2 members of Congress from a bipartisan trip overseas. fees.
And using real-world training to help college graduates go straight into high-demand jobs. Next in Hiring Hoosiers, a new partnership with UIndy is creating a custom talent pipeline for Roche Diagnostics.
And we do want to show you here the backup in Fishers I-69. Look at the southbound lanes here at a standstill. This is at State Road 37. The crash right now is blocking the left lanes of 106th Street. So give yourself that extra time. Maybe take Allisonville Road as a detour this morning if you're traveling through this area. Of course, we'll continue to monitor that cleanup and keep you updated on the other side of the break at 6:10. You're watching Good Morning Indiana.
Day, only at Ashley Home Store.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Monitoring a traffic alert. This is for drivers in Hamilton County who take I-69 southbound to get to work. You can see it's just a parking lot right here at State Road 37, and that is because farther south of here, we do have a crash blocking several lanes of traffic, so it's not moving. I would hop over to Allisonville Road maybe as your detour this morning. Of course, we'll monitor this crash cleanup. Right now, no word on any injuries at that crash site. Well, now, RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers is connecting you to the training and education you need for a successful career.
This morning, our Amanda Starantino shows us the newly created partnership between the University of Indianapolis and Roche Diagnostics. The affiliation is building a custom pipeline of talent for biomedical equipment technicians.
Victor Ngalima is heading into his senior year at the University of Indianapolis. As a chemistry major, Victor is setting up his career path early with an internship with Roche Diagnostics.
Eventually, I want to go to med school. However, I see this as a really good gateway for me to just get a lot of experience, do good for a company, increase my value.
UIndy biology and chemistry students who are eligible can join the newly created Roche Academy. Students will complete a Roche customized curriculum path and summer internship experience focused on the hands-on life science and engineering skills necessary for employment at Roche.
We're in the diagnostics business, in particular on our side of the support organization, and we go out and we take care of our customers' equipment out in the laboratory, in hospitals and doctors' clinics and things all throughout the United States. And so these individuals that are going through the Roche Academy, we need people that are out there.
Roche Diagnostics partnered with UIndy to create the next generation of their workforce. With a large portion of their current staff heading into retirement, Roche needed to create a strategy to recruit new talent for their team. Juniors interested in the program will interview with Roche and then begin to take electives Roche has specified as part of their initial training. Then those students will take a paid internship with Roche the summer leading into their senior year.
As long as that works out, they like Roche, and everything was going along well with that internship, then we'll put a job offer in front of them at the beginning of senior year, and they will be able to make that decision. And if they choose that, yes, this is the right job that they want to partake in, they continue the senior year with the electives, and then upon graduation, they have a job lined up.
Russ says this job is a great way to start working for a company that you can continue to grow your career path with.
They can move into other field jobs. They can move into jobs that are based out of the Indianapolis campus, and they can go in a technical path onto leadership. There's a lot of different opportunities that this opens up the door for.
It's an opportunity for students like Victor from Brownsburg to kick off their career early and prepare to become a successful member of Indiana's workforce.
I'm ready to learn a whole bunch because, I think I know about Roche, but there's so much more for me to learn, and I'm really looking forward to just all the knowledge there is with all that.
Roche's curriculum for the academy is not outside of the standard requirements for biology or chemistry degrees. The electives that must be taken for Roche Academy are electives already available to students at UIndy. You can find out more about Roche Academy at our website, hiringhoosiers.com.
Time right now is 6:16. Some Democrats are saying that it's something that could be added to the potential articles of impeachment against President Trump. The president is being blasted for appearing to pressure Israel to deny entry to the country to two Muslim members of Congress. Israel initially said it would allow Michigan Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib and Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota to make a planned trip to the country. But Israel's prime minister reversed course after public pressure from the president on Twitter. Even other Republicans in Congress have said that Omar and Tlaib should not be blocked from making the trip.
Speaking with the president, he knows there are people that have a difference of opinion. I think it'd be healthy for anyone that has that opinion should come just as all these members have.
Well, just into the RTV6 newsroom moments ago, Israel has now done another reversal for one of the members of Congress. Israel now says it will allow Rashida Tlaib to visit her 90-year-old grandmother who lives in the West Bank. Tlaib's family came to the U.S. from the Palestinian territory decades ago.
More dinosaur fossils will soon be on display at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. Scientists have discovered 7 tons of fossils along the Jurassic Mile in Wyoming. Some of them have been hidden for more than 150 million years. This is video from the Big Dig. Some of the fossils being prepped will be on display at the Children's Museum newly expanded Jurassic Paleo Prep Lab. It's scheduled to open September 10th. The museum is also working on a new exhibit called Mission Jurassic. That is scheduled to debut in a couple of years. Pretty neat. Time now is 6:18. Todd's going to check out our forecast.
And Meredith, it is a pretty quiet morning for us. That is the good news here across central Indiana, as temperatures, they are currently sitting in the 50s and 60s across the area. Skies are mostly cloudy, so it's not going to be the best sunrise for us when the sun comes up here in just a little over a half hour. But nonetheless, you won't have to worry about any rain for your morning commute. The winds are just light out of the south, and the dew point's at 62, so that's a pretty comfortable number. Yesterday was a terrific day with that comfortable air mass in place. But look at some of these temperatures this morning. 56 in Crawfordsville, 59 in Peru, 61 in Bloomington. So it's a cooler morning as these clouds have been increasing throughout the overnight hours, and they're all part of this complex of storms that is bringing some good rain to parts of central Missouri. Now, we'll miss out on this batch of rain. That'll pass to our south, but it is throwing some clouds in our direction, kind of spoiling what could have been a nice bright morning commute for us across the area. As far as rain today, there's one little window that will have the chance of a few showers, and it comes late morning into the early afternoon hours. So this does include your lunchtime hours. Keep that in mind. But again, it is not a big time rain chance, and it primarily for those of you north of Indianapolis. To the south, you're probably going to remain pretty dry. And even if you do see one of these showers, it'll be very light, it'll be very brief, and it'll be on its way. Certainly not going to make you cancel any plans, but I just want you to know that there will be a shower chance here later on this morning into the early afternoon. With the clouds in place, we're talking about highs today just a little bit below normal, in the low 80s for most of us across the area. Now, earlier I told you the game started at 7:15. Well, it's actually a double header for the Indians this evening. So the first game starts at 6:05 to be followed by the second game, and after that second game, that's when the fireworks will take place. And so if you're heading out there this evening, temperatures will be in the 70s, mostly cloudy skies. Should be a beautiful night for baseball across the area. Now tomorrow, here are your rain chances, and you notice that they're the highest in the morning, and then they decrease throughout the day. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, there will be some thunderstorms across the area, but just know the day gets better as it goes on. So don't wake up, hear the rain, see the rain, and think, our Saturday is wasted. Got to find all those indoor activities to do. There will be a complex of storms moving through Saturday morning, but by Saturday afternoon, you are back into the sunshine. So you may have to alter your plans a little bit if you're headed to some of those farmers markets on Saturday morning, but any events in the afternoon and evening hours should be just fine. And then we really warm things up Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We're looking at high temperatures, Lauren, in the low 90s.
All right, Todd, take a look here. This is the traffic alert we're monitoring in Hamilton County right now, I-69. We have a crash cleanup all the way down near 106th Street, blocking a few lanes of traffic, but we backed our cameras up even farther to show you how far this backup is stretching. And you can see it is a parking lot here at Cumberland Road. This is the southbound lanes of I-69. It looks like drivers are even hopping over into a shoulder here to avoid this backup. So this is something you'll want to avoid this morning for your commute. Let's take a look at the backup right now from our Traffic Now map. You can see it stretches back. It looks a couple miles, and that traffic is pretty much at a standstill. Again, the left lane's closed right now for this crash cleanup. No word on injuries at 106th Street, but you may want to take Allisonville Road or another route if you're heading southbound on the interstate to get to work this morning.
Crikey, it's the trending 6, and it's next on Good Morning Indiana. How would you like to go swimming with this big guy? We'll show you how some kids almost found themselves in the water with him. That's next.
Lower our drug prices now.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Giving you another look right now at the stop-and-go traffic here on southbound I-69. This is our camera here, State Road 37. You can see traffic is just inching southbound at this hour. It's all due to a crash cleanup near 106th Street this morning. Give yourself that extra time for this commute. It is a few mile backup, and that is quite the delay. So we'll continue to monitor this and keep you updated.
But before you head out the door, it is time for the Trending 6.
And these are some of the stories that everyone is sharing online today that you'll want to know about. Okay, so some kids were swimming in an Ohio creek on Wednesday, and that's when an adult with them spotted something moving in the water. Well, the kids got out of the water, and it's a good thing because that something was this 7-foot crocodile. The reptile was found in a creek in Preble County that's near the Indiana state line. Wildlife officials believe that someone turned the croc loose after keeping it as a pet, which is illegal unless you have a state license. Yikes.
A 103-year-old grandmother is now in the Guinness Book of World Records. Kitty Hodges joined 2 of her sons and 1 granddaughter in a skydive to break the world record for the oldest person to complete a tandem skydive. She and her family members made the leap from 10,000 feet up. Kitty says she mainly agreed to jump because her son, who is battling multiple sclerosis, was also jumping.
You go, Kitty.
Cool. Go,
That's
Kitty,
awesome.
go.
Well, Bachelor Ben was back in Indiana. The Indianapolis Indians welcomed the former Bachelor Ben Higgins to the ballpark. Fans lining up before the game for that meet and greet. The Warsaw native currently lives in Denver, and while he's technically still a bachelor, he says he does have a girlfriend now, so sorry, ladies. A lot of ladies in line, though, as you can see. He's very popular.
Hey, well, a guy attending the Mets-Braves game in Atlanta last night got a nice reward for catching a foul ball, a nice grab, and his date, who was very, very happy. Oh, yes, honey. Don't know what happened after that because the television cameras cut away. Nobody wants to pay those FCC fines.
Right.
And that might have been a good thing because she looked awfully excited there.
Okay. Woo. Well, maybe this will finally kill the urge to put pumpkin spice in everything. Yeah, Hormel says that starting next month, you can buy cans of limited edition pumpkin spice Spam. It will be on sale on Walmart and Spam's online stores. There's no pumpkin mixed in with the canned pork, just cinnamon, clove, and allspice and nutmeg. No, thank you.
All right. Democratic presidential candidate Tim Ryan raised some eyebrows this week at the Iowa State Fair. When he was asked what his favorite food was at the fair, the Ohio congressman responded that it was the Busch Light draft beer. He said it was because he hadn't had Busch Light since his college days. Apparently, Busch is still a big seller in Iowa, so maybe that helps Ryan get some votes. Yeah, I'm guessing Busch Light is pretty popular in Iowa City, where the University of Iowa is.
Yeah.
Or maybe he won't get him votes because he hasn't had it since college, and that's his favorite thing at the fair. I feel like it's not very relatable.
You can find a lot of fried food.
There's a lot of really good things at the fair.
Lauren, he's going for that like 18 to 24 demographic.
Yeah. Pandering a little bit to the younger crowd.
And I did find out the Indiana State Fair, you can get beer and walk around with it now this year.
Good to know.
Yes, very exciting.
All right, outside right now, we're dealing with mostly cloudy skies. A stray shower around the noon hour is possible. Otherwise, a dry evening, 81. We heat up, though, through the weekend. 6:27 right now. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Budget at Ross. Yes for less.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6:30, Classroom to Career is part of our Hiring Hoosiers initiative, showcasing programs that are giving kids a head start into the workforce. This morning, we're showcasing a program designed to make sure that Latino students are ready for that next step.
And the drug kingpin who ruled Indianapolis is now heading to prison for a long time. The convictions that came in overnight for gang leader Richard Grundy.
And working to keep unwanted visitors from stopping at your front door. The efforts in Westfield to stop solicitors before they ring your doorbell. Time right now, 6:31. It is finally Friday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Meteorologist Todd Clausen joining us. And not maybe the most ideal weekend weather, but we have certainly had it worse earlier this summer. That's for certain.
You know, there's some times this weekend where there will be rain opportunities for us, but we're not looking at all-day rains. Don't think back to June when it was those constant downpours. There'll be plenty of time to get out and about. This morning, skies are mostly cloudy. You can see the sky starting to brighten here in the center of your screen as you look on the RTV6 Weather Now camera network, and you see a little break in the cloud cover. But look at these temperatures. 57 in Zion Zionsville 59 in Logansport. Cool there just to the north. 61 in Bloomington, 66 in Indianapolis. So the clouds have been increasing. They're still a little thinner from the city off towards the east, thicker off to the west. And as part of this storm system that is diving down to the south. So as that system bypasses us to the south, it's throwing some clouds in our direction. But as far as rain chances, they will not arrive in our forecast until later on this afternoon. And it's just a very small chance around the noon hour that a few very light rain showers sneak through the area. 75 degrees. And then this evening, mostly cloudy skies with temperatures that'll be in the low 80s. So if you do have plans that include being outdoors throughout the day today, it's only a little window around noon that you have to be concerned about.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, our Shea Goodpaster is in live drive this morning, and he's driving on northbound I-65 through that detour route. Just a reminder that eastbound, northbound I-465 on the southeast side is closed through August 24th, so through this weekend and all of next week. So you'll need to take this detour route, I-65 through downtown to I-70 over to the east side. And because we have all that added traffic in the detour, that is slowing down traffic for your commute into downtown, so just a heads up to that. Well, getting kids the resources they need to be successful in school is critical, and the Indiana Latino Institute is providing guidance to local students.
From our Hiring Hoosiers initiative, getting you connected to jobs, our Erin Lish is live at ILI with how they are getting students ready to go from the classroom to their future careers. Hey, Erin.
Good morning. So the Institute, they are committed to getting those Latino students in high school and college to graduate, and they're doing that through their education-focused programs.
So I had no clue what I was getting myself into.
Daniela Lopez wanted to go to college, but she wasn't sure where to start until someone told her to call the Indiana Latino Institute.
There was always someone there with an answer, and if they didn't have the answer, they guided me to someone who did have an answer, and that was very beneficial because I had no clue what I was doing.
She's now double majoring at Marian University. Lopez isn't the only one who struggled finding help. That's why this nonprofit reaches out to students as soon as they can.
We meet them at their houses, we do presentations at their schools and high school, and we work with them throughout high school and into college.
To figure out what students' interests and needs are, ILI provides free coaching and workshops for things like college applications, financial aid, and internship connections. This provided guidance for Alex Santana after moving here from Puerto Rico.
Even though I was a little hesitant because I was like, well, I'm through technology. I don't think they're going to have a lot of options, and they actually did.
Now a senior at IUPUI, Santana is interning at Eli Lilly thanks to the help from ILI and is confident about his future because of the Institute.
Reasons why I am in the right track. I'm working towards a successful career because my foundation is solid thanks to them.
And the Institute did a survey and found that 62% of Latinos in our area say they've sometimes, rarely, or never felt like they got the right amount of resources to further their education. So this is a great opportunity to get those free programs. And you saw that Lopez and Santana have been able to become more confident while building those stronger resumes. And next Monday, we have a really neat opportunity through one program that will allow you to get your degree faster and save some money while doing it. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Erin, thank you. If you're looking to learn more about these career programs or other job opportunities in Central Indiana, our Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page is a big help. That's where you can find posts from prospective companies looking for new employees and all of our other Hiring Hoosiers stories. That's all just a click away for you on the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page.
Time right now, 6:35. We are following breaking news from overnight. A federal jury in Evansville finding former Indianapolis drug kingpin leader Richard Grundy guilty on all counts. Authorities say Grundy led a drug operation selling cocaine, meth, heroin, and marijuana from outside of the country. Grundy was arrested along with more than 20 other people from 2017 on federal drug charges. 4 other people on trial with Grundy were also found guilty on all counts. Of course, we have more background on this story. It's all right now in the RTV6 app.
Also breaking overnight, this time from the city's north side, Metro Police police investigating a late-night shooting near 34th and Graceland Avenue. That is just blocks away from Crown Hill Cemetery. Police say a neighbor called to report a man shot in the backyard of a home on Graceland. When police arrived just before midnight, officers found a 25-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds. At this hour, he is listed in critical condition. No word this morning on the search for a suspect.
At 6:36 right now, the city of Westfield wants to make sure that people can keep solicitors off their property if they choose to do so. In the past, it's been up to each of the neighborhood's homeowners associations whether or not to allow soliciting, but at least one solicitation company is fighting this, saying it's unconstitutional for an HOA to make a decision that blankets an entire neighborhood. City officials say they're considering making this policy a city ordinance. Residents we talked to say they're in favor of the rule, but they're a little skeptical about how this will be enforced.
We were on a no-call list with our phones forever. Didn't stop anybody. And of course, what are you going to do? Sue them? You can't do anything. And so if you pass this, that's great. But how do you enforce it?
Well, as long as it's a city ordinance and properly passed, yes, our police department will enforce that on a one-on-one basis.
Mayor Andy Cook there says that a solicitation company is challenging the proposal. For more information on how this would work, you can go to the RTV6 app and just click on this story.
City leaders are also working to address areas where people do not have access to fresh food, known as food deserts. Indianapolis is looking for an expert or organization to work with city staff and community leaders to help get to the root of what causes food insecurity and how to fix it. The consultant will also work with small grocery store owners that are trying to succeed in food deserts.
What we're trying to do here is give people an additional lifeline to help them grow out of some of the initial growing pains of trying to make a difference without necessarily having the technical expertise as you get started. And I think that's an important thing that we can leverage our city resources to help do.
The city will be accepting submissions to take on this task through the Office of Public Health and Safety until Friday, October 4th. The study is expected to be completed in September of next year.
At 6:38, Purdue University just landed a $10 million federal grant to jumpstart a new laboratory devoted to improving food safety in developing nations. The funding from the United States Agency for International Development will go toward Purdue's new Feed the Future Innovation Lab for Food Safety. The lab will collaborate with Cornell University to develop programs to improve food safety in Bangladesh, Cambodia, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Senegal. Feed the Future is a global hunger and food security initiative spearheaded by the U.S., aiming to tackle the root causes of hunger, poverty, and malnutrition.
This weekend, you are invited to remember the life of Eva Moses Kaur, the Holocaust survivor who called the Hoosier State home. Eva died last month while on her annual trip to Poland. She was just 85 years old. As a child, she and her twin sister survived the horrors of the concentration camp at Auschwitz. She started the Candles Museum in Terre Haute and made it a mission to forgive but never forget the Holocaust. On Sunday, her life will be celebrated at Clues Hall on the Butler University campus at 2 p.m. Governor Holcomb and her son, Dr. Alex Kaur, are set to speak along with a world-renowned Holocaust scholar. It is 6:39 right now, and who let the dogs out, Todd?
Meredith, I know you're going to like. We got two of them for you today. And I know you're going to like one. One is 15 weeks old. The other one is 10 years old. And they are just waiting on the steps, getting ready to go out for their walk here this morning. Gracie, she's the older one, and Abby is the younger one. And, of course, if you have pictures and like your dog featured here, you can send them to my Facebook page, Todd Clausen, RTV6. It's a decent day to walk the dogs. We'll give you green paws from start to finish here throughout the day today. 64 degrees this morning. Temperatures eventually climbing into the 80s with a little bit of sunshine later on this afternoon, but the clouds, they are in place here this morning. There's one little window that there could be a few spotty showers this afternoon right around the noon hour, but don't let that deter you from any outdoor events this evening. Jonah and the Lions should be a pretty good concert there on White River State Park with temperatures falling into the 70s as that show progresses. It's going to be a dry evening. More on your weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Well, it was quite the scare of a NASCAR legend, Dale Earnhardt Jr. The details we're learning this morning about the scary plane crash that he and his family survived on Thursday.
And from competitors on the field to friends off of it. Just ahead in Good News Friday, the touching moment between two lacrosse teams. It's 6:41. We'll be right back.
Financing for 60 months on some 2019 Atlas models.
The fallout continues this morning after Israel declared that 2 American congresswomen would not be allowed in the country. Now, just about 30 minutes ago, Israel changed course. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota and Rashida Tlaib of Michigan were set to make a visit to Israel later this month. That was until Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced that they would not be allowed into the country. The move came just hours after President Trump tweeted that allowing the visit would show great weakness. Now, just after 6 this morning, Israel announced that Representative Tlaib would be allowed to visit family in the West Bank for a day. Both congresswomen have been accused of making anti-Israeli comments in the past. Democrats have spoken out against the decision by Israel.
At 6:44, North Korean officials say they will not hold any future face-to-face talks with South Korean officials. The remarks follow South Korean President Moon Jae-in's Liberation Day speech, saying dialogue between the Koreas and United States remains unshaken despite North Korea's recent missile launches. North Korea has rallied against the ongoing U.S.-South Korean joint military drills. Earlier this week, North Korean leaders say they'll only hold their future talks with Washington.
Former NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his family are out of the hospital this morning after they survived a scary plane crash on Thursday. Earnhardt, his wife and daughter were on a private jet when it crashed while landing in Elizabethton, Tennessee. The 3 Earnhardts, along with 2 pilots, were able to get off the plane before it burst into flames. Authorities say the jet plowed through a fence near the airport, and a part of it was still attached to the plane when it came to a stop. There is no word yet on what caused the jet to overshoot the runway.
At 6:45 here this morning, hundreds of people out in Colorado are being forced from their homes, and it's all thanks to this growing wildfire in the state. The fire is burning in Deer Creek Park, just a little west of Denver. The growing fire has burned 13 acres so far, but it has not burned any homes yet. Fire crews say the fire started around 5:30 Thursday evening, and the firefighters hope to have this contained by later today. What started the fire still remains under investigation this morning.
This morning, people living in western Japan are feeling the impacts of a powerful typhoon. The storm is pounding the country right now as officials are warning people about potentially record-breaking rainfall. There are also concerns about mudslides and flooding across the country. 1 death and more than 50 injuries have already been reported due to the storm. Nearly 600,000 people are being told to evacuate their homes this morning. Back here in central Indiana, we need to take a look at this stunning sunrise behind Todd right now.
Oh yeah, Todd, what can we expect as we head out there today?
You know, dry conditions here this morning for your commute, and the sunrise is beautiful. The clouds always kind of add another dynamic to the sunrise compared to when we're completely clear. But these clouds, they've been increasing throughout the morning hours. So the further east you are here in central Indiana, the brighter your skies are going to be this morning. And you can see that the clouds are continuing to fill in, and they're a little thicker as you work your way to the north and to the west of the area. Temperatures this morning range from the upper 50s to low 60s across the area. So it's a little bit of a cooler start to our day. And with this cloud cover now moving in and the sun coming up, these temperatures should not fall off much more throughout the course of the morning. As far as the rain goes, there is this complex of storms moving to our south, and that is going to continue in that direction. So that's not what's going to bring us any rainfall later on this afternoon, but it is that complex of storms that is giving us the cloud cover here this morning. But there will be another complex of storms, which I'll show you in just a second on TrueCast, that looks just like this, that could impact our area come this time tomorrow morning. More on that in just a second. But here's how we go throughout the course of the day today, hour by hour. The clouds can continue to increase here this morning, so we'll just call it mostly cloudy. As we get into the middle half of the morning and into the early afternoon, so say between about 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., there will be the chance of just a few very, very spotty showers here across the area. Nothing major. I don't think it's anything that will cause you to cancel any plans. Maybe if you're running out for lunch in some northern areas, you may get a quick passing shower, but it is going to be very, very light. But all activities this evening will be just fine across central Indiana with skies that'll be partly to mostly cloudy and very comfortable temperatures this evening as well. We'll see the temperatures be in the 70s. So the 70s throughout the noon hour. We get up about 80 80, 81 degrees by 6 p.m. with even a little more sunshine this afternoon compared to this morning. And then here is that evening forecast. 8:40 is your sunset. Mostly cloudy, temperatures in the mid-70s, so you don't have to worry if you're heading to any outdoor events of really just standing there or sitting there and sweating up a storm. Not going to be the case this evening. Now, the heat does build in this weekend. Saturday, 85. Sunday, 90 degrees. Saturday storms are in the morning. Sunday, the better chance will be in the evening. So I mentioned that complex of storms off to our west this morning. Here's what I mean by tomorrow morning. It'll be moving through parts of the area. So tomorrow morning, there will be the potential for some pretty good rain in some areas. Not all of you are going to see it, but don't let that cancel any Saturday afternoon and evening plans, because that moves off towards the east, and then we get into partly cloudy skies throughout the rest of your Saturday, and that'll continue overnight into Sunday. And then Sunday, we kind of build in some storms during the peak heating of the day in the afternoon. So yes, there are rain chances both Saturday and Sunday. No, it is not a washout, and I do think you need to carry on with your plans. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, though, we will have to contend with some heat with highs back into the low 90s. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We have Live Drive out on the roads this morning, heading through that detour route if you're trying to avoid that closure of I-465 on the southeast side, or maybe you're just trying to get to downtown Indy. Our Shay Goodpaster is in the car right now. Shay, you've been driving that detour route. About how long is it taking you this morning?
Let me give you an idea. From Keystone Avenue, I hit northbound 65. It's taken me 20 minutes to get where I am right now. This is the north split where I go 70 eastbound. So right now you see traffic's really moving well. But just like 3 minutes ago, it was 20 miles an hour. So you're going to have to keep that in mind as this detour drags on throughout the next week. Back to you, Lauren.
All right, Shay, thank you for that update. Use caution if you're heading through that detour route in downtown this morning.
Are you ready to ride the world's largest Giga Coaster? The predictions for Kings Island's newest ride were correct. The park unveiling Orion, its newest roller coaster, complete with a 300-foot drop. To put that into perspective, that's just 2 feet shorter than the park's tallest ride, the Windseeker Swings. Orion will be the park's longest coaster and will reach speeds of up to 91 miles per hour. The coaster will be the 13th fastest coaster in the world. Kings Island officials say the cost of the ride is more than the price tag to build the entire park back in 1972. Well, it was quite the journey just to witness his son's birth. Ahead in Good News Friday, how one kind stranger saved the day for a National Guardsman. You won't want to miss it. Coming up.
Years and counting on RTV6.
All right, we have reached the end of another long work week, and that means it's time for the return of our favorite segment here, Good News Friday.
During this part of the show, we're bringing you nothing but positive and uplifting stories, and we begin this morning with the kindness of strangers. 5 middle school football players were caught on camera helping an elderly woman travel safely down a busy road.
Well, the group was walking to a parade when they noticed this woman struggling with her wheelchair in a grassy path, so they jumped right into action, helping to push her through the area where there were no sidewalks.
Oh, I love that.
So nice of them.
Way to go, guys. Well, one man from Alabama is on one very unusual mission to help spread goodwill. This is Rodney Smith Jr., and last year he made it his mission to mow at least one lawn for someone in need in every U.S. state. Well, now Rodney is on to his next new challenge. He is now inviting police officers to mow with him as he crosses the country. His Mowing with Cops tour is starting this week, and his goal is to bring the communities together around those who serve and protect us. Rodney will be in Gary, Indiana on August 21st.
Very cool.
Oh, I like the lights on that mower,
too. That's hilarious. Well, now to a story showing you the power of sportsmanship.
2 teams may have been rivals on the field, but off the field they came together for a pretty special moment. Earlier this month, Kenya was playing Israel in a women's lacrosse tournament.
Yeah, the team from Kenya was at a pretty big disadvantage, though. It's because the team could not afford cleats. So after the game, the Israel team went out and bought the brand new cleats for that entire Kenyan team.
Oh, as you can see, this was about so much more than just the game on the field. How cool.
Well, how about another cool moment for you? The U.S. Air Force Airmen's act of kindness here was all caught on camera. Earlier this month, this video was taken just outside of Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City. The airmen spotted a woman walking with her groceries. It was in 101-degree heat. So, of course, he decided to lend a helping hand. And he pulled over, gathered all her bags, and gave her a lift to her house. The woman who posted the video said that her heart just melted after witnessing this nice moment. And it is proof there are good people left in this world.
God bless them. Well, as Lauren, I'm sure you can tell us, the birth of a child is something you will certainly never forget.
That is for sure. I can tell you that. And a member of the National Guard got to experience that incredible moment, and it's all thanks to the kindness of total strangers. Sergeant Seth Craven is currently serving in Afghanistan, but he was able to fly home to witness the birth of his son.
He was trying to get to West Virginia, but his flight was canceled, and he wouldn't be able to get out until the next day. And that would likely mean he would miss the birth. So passengers heard about his problem. One woman reached out and said she'd be willing to drive through the night to get him there.
And so that's exactly what they did, with Sergeant Craven getting dropped off just in time to witness the birth of his son.
Yay.
And there's the picture right there. Love that story.
Happy
Glad
birthday,
he made
little
it.
guy.
All right, so we're looking for more good news in the forecast, Todd, because we are heading into the weekend.
Yeah, you know, it's not terrible news. More clouds and sunshine here throughout the day today. And there is the chance of a quick passing shower around the noon hour, but lots and lots of dry hours this evening. Should be fine. A high of 81 degrees today. As we look forward in this forecast, though, we heat things up, especially by Sunday and then into Monday and Tuesday, with high temperatures in the low 90s. Best chance of rain on Saturday will be in the morning. The best chance of rain on Sunday will be some spotty storms in the afternoon.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. We're going to be back right here in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with local news, weather, and your traffic updates.
And remember, all your news can be found throughout the day on the RTV6 app. We'll leave you here with a live look from our live drive as he cruises through central Indiana. We hope you have a great Friday, a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday for lots more news and fun.